Right now, most players are pairing Kuma wrong. And if you choose the wrong partner between Joren and Ellanir, you're literally losing fights you should be winning. Because on paper, both look insane, but in real fights, only one actually works with Kuma. And I have been testing Kuma in real PvP fights, in open field, in rally, in messy KVK battles. It's just not theory. And I have seen what is happening when you pair him wrong and what is happening when he actually clicks. And trust me, it's not what most players expected. And I'm extremely curious to pair my Kuma with one of the new heroes because I cannot run like 2-3 marches infantry. I can run one, and I want this one march to be the best one. I already make a video about the 2 new heroes with the battle reports, with everything you basically have to see for the new heroes. Right now I want to talk about for the players who already have Kuma right there fully awakened and they want to make Kuma even more stronger with the new infantry heroes in Call of Dragons. Because Kuma is not just a normal hero, he doesn't just do damage, he plays with the HP itself. And if your second hero doesn't match with this, you're wasting his strong mechanic. And so far, this mechanic is the best mechanic in Call of Dragons. Draining this HP, making the survivability insane, because Kuma is not doing damage, guys. Kuma is not doing damage. Kuma is draining the HP and make rest of the legions around him easy to be killed. This is what Kuma is doing, and you may waste his strong mechanics. So today I'm going to break down Kuma plus Ellanir, Kuma plus Joren, maybe some real fight scenario, and which one actually will win the fight. So first we need to understand something very important. Kuma is not a damaging hero, as I already mentioned that. And this is where most players actually mess it up. They see his skill and they think, oh wow, big damage. But that's not when he goes. What Kuma really do, he drain HP, not damage, not normal damage. He literally remove HP from enemies. And from point of killing, if I can actually use this word, or elimination rate, if you go with HP reduction or HP bypass, you're just going to have higher elimination rate. So the enemy is just going to go down way more faster. And Kuma is making this very nice pool of drained HP around himself. Now imagine this situation. You go into a big fight, 5 enemy marches around you, and suddenly their HP just drops. Now you cannot see this thing, how their HP drops, but you can definitely feel how your legion is still alive there, but the enemy legions just become this gray skeleton and go back to their castle. And at the same time, your legion heals. Well, this is Kuma. But here's the problem. HP drain is not boosted by normal damage stats. So if you pair him with the wrong hero, you don't scale this range. So now the big question, who actually work with Kuma? Let's start with Ellanir. Kuma plus Ellanir. At the first glance, Ellanir look perfect. She gives skill damage boost, counter attack boost, defense, ignore attack. It looked like a full package. I mean, imagine to have a hero that is going to ignore the attack, is boosting the defense, and something that right now everybody in Call of Dragons are using Kuma for, and this is the counter attack. I mean, when you open one infantry report, you're not going to see some crazy damage from the heroes in this report, but when you scroll down at counter attack section, you're going to see where the GOAT is right now in Call of Dragons, and this is the counter attack. attack. And same time is also doing some skill damage boost. And this is whether most players say this must be the best pair. And honestly, I also was going in this direction by seeing Ellanir with Kuma, and I was like, this is the best pair right now in Call of Dragons. Oh my god. But yeah, we're going to go there. But here's the problem, because Kuma doesn't scale with most of that. I mean, attack ignore is going to give you the survivability. That's correct. Defense, yes, survivability. Counter-attack is maybe where the things shine a little, but skill damage boost, Kuma is not actually having any kind of skill damage boost. So here we're seeing one increase of the survivability, something that the Kuma already give you, and at the same time just little counter-attack a boost at the end of the day. So let me explain. Ellanir increase skill damage and counter-attack. But Kuma main range is HP drain, so counter-attack is going to work well with Kuma, because you know, when you get hit, you're going to do a counter-attack. But the skill damage is not something you want to have there. Rest of the stats is very nice because it's just increasing the survivability, I mean reducing the attack and increasing the defense. And HP drain does not scale the same way, so you're boosting things that are not his main value. Now imagine this scenario. You go into the fight, you expect big damage, but what happened? Your legion survives, okay, and believe me, with Ellanir, your legion is going to survive much time from, for example, let's say Lee Kuan with Kuma. They just stay alive. This is what you're going to see. The enemy don't melt, but the heroes are just staying alive right there. Because your scaling is split. Half of your power is going into the Kuma and doesn't fully use. Now yes, Ellanir give strong defense and that's help. She also is reducing the attack. But here is the issue nobody talk about. Kuma already has sustain. This is the thing I want to point out about this combo. Kuma already give you this sustain. Kuma already make you strong on the battlefield to not disappear like a snowflake. It's just the Kuma is giving you this sustain. His heals, he gain HP by the drain, he benefits from long fight. This is Kuma. Now imagine to put a same hero like a Kuma next to Kuma. I mean, the results is not going to be crazy. Yeah, your legion is going to stay there, is going to survive, but yeah. So, but this is where everything changed, because Kuma doesn't need more balance. He actually needs pressure. And that's why Lee Kuan was presented with the Kuma. Lee Kuan is very aggressive hero. I want to point out this thing. So the synergy between these two heroes was on the next level. And right now, we're having a chance to even boost this synergy, what we already received from Lee Kuan. And here's what the Kuma is needing. He needs pressure. So let's talk about Kuma plus Joren. Now and this is where the things get interesting. Joren is extremely aggressive hero. If you go and check out his spell, you're going to see that he's a very, very aggressive hero, especially for infantry. I don't know, maybe Nika is that type of aggressive hero. This is the only comparison I can do from point of infantry, but Joren is an aggressive one. He gives huge HP boost, counter-attack damage, massive burst after taking hits, and parry mechanic. And suddenly this starts to match with Kuma, because these things because think about how Kuma plays. He want to stay in the fight. He want enemies around him. He want chaos. And what does Joren do? He thrives in chaos. So something that I already noticed from my first impression from Joren, the new infantry in Call of Dragons, is this bad boy is something like it's something like you throw him like a bomb, you know? You throw him like a bomb, and he with less enemies, he's not going to perform well. with a lot of enemies he may actually die. So he was looking something like a balance, you know. Joren was looking something like a balance from point of how many enemies he's going to fight. But with Kuma is going to give this sustain to Joren to actually pick up his head and start looking in direction of more enemies. This is what I can say. So he's going to thrive in chaos and Kuma is going to help him in this direction. Now imagine this scenario. You're in the crowded fight, enemy hitting you from all sides. And this is happening over and over again. I mean, imagine you jump, it's something we're doing, all the players in Call of Dragons. We blink in the middle of the mage boss, or we try to catch up like 30, 40 mages with the blink strategy, or you just throw your infantry in the enemy direction where is the mages. And believe it or not, mages, the first thing they think is like, I want to take out this infantry because I really don't want this infantry, especially if Kuma is there, to drain my HP. This is going to weaken my legion HP, and when I hit, I'm going to just receive more servantly wounded from the counterattack. So every mage legion is trying to kill and take out this infantry legion. So if you throw Joren and Kuma, you're going to get hit by multiple sides. And Joren start attacking, taking hits, building damage, then boom, big burst. At the same time, Kuma drain HP from multiple enemies. And to be fair, maybe we have to, I need to make a test about which of these two heroes is going to be better for the commander. I believe the Kuma should be the commander, so after the Kuma drain, to be where the Joren is going to perform the big damage. So like this, you're going to hit already drained up legions from the HP, and you're going to make more casualties in form of elimination rate. Very, very important. Now this is where the synergy is actually happening, because both heroes benefit from being attacked. Now, not avoiding damage, not playing safe. They want to be in danger. And this is why this combo feels different. Instead of slow fights, you create decent pressure. Enemies start losing HP when also taking real damage from the Joren. Now here is the real example. You enter in the KVK fight, your alliance is pushing, enemy plays swarm. You won't normally get wiped in this situation, but with Kuma, with Joren, you don't die instantly. First of all, you stay, you drain, you counter, you explode damage, and suddenly the enemy start backing off. This is the difference. So let's compare directly. Ellanir with Kuma, more balance, more defense, boost skill damage, slower fight. And to be fair, I don't know for you guys, but last couple seasons, it's like till here for me, because these slow fights. I mean, I'm start hitting the same infantry with 5 mage legions, and it's just not dying. And at the same time, this infantry is not actually doing that much damage to me. So I believe it's going to be something like, even Ellanir with Kuma is going to be like Lee Kuan Kuma, something like this. More balanced, more defense, boost skill damage, slower fights. But with Joren, more aggressive, higher pressure, benefits from taking hits, strong burst windows. And if your infantry is not benefiting from getting hits, brother, infantry are melee heroes. I mean, do you understand that? He's melee heroes. He's always going to get hit. Now with mages you can escape. With marksmen it's like 50-50. But cavalry and infantry, they always get hit. And this is going to give them strong burst window. Kuma with Joren. Now ask yourself, what does Kuma need? He already have sustain. He already survives. So what is the missing part? And this is damage pressure. And this is exactly what Joren is giving. Now here's something very important. Kuma reduce HP, and when enemy have lower HP, burst damage become stronger. That's why I strongly believe, I think Kuma should be the commander in this situation, and Joren just do after the Kuma the burst damage, and Joren do big damage, become even more effective. I mean, you're looking for more effectiveness of the Joren damage. This is the part nobody's actually talking about. You're not just adding damage, you're amplifying it. So, which one is better? I can say Kuma plus Ellanir is safer, balanced and slower, but Kuma with Joren is aggressive pressure with the real impact. And in real PvP, pressure win the fights. So the answer is simple. Joren is the best pair for Kuma. And you see over and over this thing, the more pressure one alliance do on the enemy alliance, it's just how the things work in general in the fights. You have bigger pressure, the enemy at one point may survive, but may not actually survive. But here's the thing, this only works if you play it correctly. If you try to play safe with this combo, you're losing this advantage. This combo need to get hit. So if you want to get best value from this legion, you have to be on the battlefield fighting with multiple legions. So if you go that far in this video, don't forget to hit one like, it really helps my channel. Also subscribe for more Call of Dragons content, because boy oh boy, it's getting wild. With this new infantry in Call of Dragons, is getting wild. I'm going to put one other video here, you can go and check it out, or you can go and check it out rest of the videos on my channel about the new infantry heroes, because right now this is the hot topic, honestly. I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.